citizens of Iacon. Your new ruler, Megatron, has arrived. No longer will you be plagued by the burdens of freedom and choice. Henceforth, my will is the only guidance you shall require. Embrace the Decepticon way and reap its rewards, or resist and face destruction.
So, this is Transformers War for Cybertron. My name is Matt Tieger. I'm the game director on the project. And what we're going to show you here today is a big chunk of gameplay for the Autobot campaign. There's two separate campaigns, one Autobot, one Decepticon. And in both of those campaigns, they're very different stories, very different levels. You get to do lots of cool stuff. The entire game is grounded on third-person action, shooter controls that are really designed to feel good under your thumb. As you look at the HUD, you can see on the upper right-hand corner the weapon loadout, the health system on the upper left-hand corner. One of the things that you'll notice is you've got two abilities. Every character has a unique combination of two abilities. On the left-hand side, you have a cooldown ability. This is an ability that will recycle itself very frequently based on time. And in the case of Optimus, he's got the dash ability. He can move really quickly to the left or to the right, forward or back. On the other side of the screen, you've got the War Cry ability. Optimus is a leader. He's got the ability to buff up his teammates. So you'll see that ability used often as well, and the way you trigger that ability is by collecting these Energon shards that you see on the ground. Once you get enough of them, you can pull off the War Cry ability. Every character can carry two weapons around, and you can also pick up big weapons if you find them in the game world. So here you can see Optimus pulling around a gigantic gun. In the Autobot story, the Autobots are really trying to figure out what the Decepticons have been up to. And they found a way to weaponize Energon. It's called Dark Energon. And Energon is kind of the blood that flows through their veins. It's their life force. And Megatron's found a way to make it this volatile, dangerous thing. And so as we go through the game, you're going to kind of figuring out what he's been up to and doing your very best to stop him. You can transform anywhere in the game. There are no restrictions on transformation. And the placement of transformation on your controls and how you use it and the timing of it was one of the most important decisions we made on this game, because we wanted to encourage you to transform often and use it as your core strategy. So in this boss fight coming up here, you'll see that weapons in your robot form are very effective, but there also is a place for using your vehicle form when interacting and dealing with the boss.
Shoot its lights out!
You'll notice Optimus has his very characteristic gun. If you're a big fan of Transformers, you're going to notice that his gun design is actually very reminiscent, especially the back of it, from what you'd expect from all the traditional Optimus designs. But you can switch weapons all the time, and so he's got a second weapon, which is a charge-up weapon. You'll notice it's got 3 LEDs on the back of it, and you can charge it up to 3 levels of damage dealing. Your health system on the upper left-hand side is a segmented health system, so as you take damage, you'll lose cubes of Energon, and you need to find Energon cubes in the game world and go pick them up. And then when we find an Energon cube, you're going to see it's very reminiscent of the cartoon Generation 1, which is our primary touchdown for many of the artistic decisions that we made in this game. You'll notice that the big boss now has a very different kind of attack, which is destroying the world. And one of your best strategies for avoiding this is to actually use your vehicle form. So you can use your vehicle form, get out of the way, get to a safe spot, start dealing damage again. Each vehicle, the controls are exactly the same as they are in robot form, and each vehicle has 2 modes of use. You have a hover mode, which is the default. When you move into it, you're going to get into a hover mode, which will strafe you and allow you to move very similar to you that you can move into in robot form. But you also have boost mode. You pull the trigger down like you would in every driving game you've ever played, and now my wheels drop down, I look very Earth-like, and I drive much faster in a forward motion. What you're seeing here is really one of the first bosses that we encounter in the game. So it's no cakewalk. You got to get your legs under you for how to deal with bosses. And there are a lot of bosses in this game. Named characters, but also some big automatons that you deal with. Once we take this guy out, we're now going to be able to move forward.
Oh yeah! We got it down now! Bring on the rest of them!
Much further into the Autobot campaign, we find out about where Megatron has been processing and creating this dark energon. And so we send a bunch of jets to this orbiting research station to take it out. It's really a suicide mission. Jetfire, we come to find out, has a little bit of a history with Megatron, and we'll find out about some of that in the Autobot campaign and the real roots of that in the Decepticon campaign. But in this area, we've got, playing as Air Raid, we've got a couple different skills we can show off. He's going to have a cloak ability, which is really useful for flanking guys, getting around them, attacking from behind, but also, if you take a bunch of damage, it's useful for getting to health. He's got a shotgun, which is obviously a different kind of weapon to show off, and a whirlwind attack, which is a 360 damaging attack. You see a couple of what some of these Decepticon troops look like, cars and rockets, soldiers. This area is much further in the game, so obviously it's much more of an intense combat. Melee is fast and brutal in this game. It's positioned on the right stick, very similar to Call of Duty, and so what you're going to get is a really quick, reactionary, very strong and powerful melee attack. But everything's grounded in old school, 1980s kind of cartoons, so you'll notice most of the weapons, all the Energon weapons are all very based on those kind of original Energon styles. Here he's picked up a different kind of weapon. The Energon battle pistol has more of a zoom, also very effective, especially if you are an accurate shooter. This back corner you'll see some grenades as well. He'll go pick up a different kind of grenade. These are essentially heat-seeking grenades, thermal mines, that if you drop them in the world, they'll sit there and position there and they will seek targets if they get close. So you'll see there it goes. This is the whirlwind attack, so you kind of commit yourself to a heavy-duty melee action, but while you're spinning around. You'll notice those rocket soldiers, they have a particular vulnerability when they jump up in the air. They do a lot of damage, but their boosters on their feet become very vulnerable, and if you can get a shot in on those, send them flying. Again, there's no restrictions on transformation, so if you wanted to play this whole scenario in your jet form, you go right ahead, nothing to stop you. And jets have some different things going on, or all vehicles have different things going on than the robot form. If you don't have access to your basic abilities, you have a vehicle ability. So in the case of jets, it's a barrel roll. Really useful for dodging incoming fire, getting out of the way if you're getting hurt pretty bad. You've also got unique weapons, so they've got rocket launchers and machine guns in their jet form. Here's some of the big guys. This is the final wave in this area, and you'll notice these are what we call the Titans. These are the big, heavy-duty shooters. A cloak to get behind them, melee strike to do some big damage. If you take enough damage, your systems are going to start to shut down, and you'll notice the Cybertronian font coming in. It's all translated into English that says things like nav system closing and weapons going offline. Every little detail mattered in this game, and so we spent a lot of effort, even just something as simple as making a Cybertronian font. So now when the big guy goes down, you can pick up his gun and do some real damage. If you notice from what you saw before, when Optimus carried a big gun, the colors were different, and that's because every weapon accepts the colors of the character that's holding it. So again, another little tiny detail, but something that we felt was important. So if my primary color is red, this gun will be red. My primary color is blue, this gun would be blue. Brutes are a different kind. They've got a big heavy shield, so you've got to get behind them. But once you blow up their backpack, that'll take them down. Finally, I have one last little snippet to show you, and that's what a boss fight looks like. This is Trypticon, the biggest, most badass Decepticon. So what we'll do is we're just going to show you 2 minutes of this, but a little taste of what it's like to fight a boss in Transformers War for Cybertron. Remember, we're coming out June 22nd on PS3, Xbox 360, and PC.